RHONJ, Teresa Giudice points fingers at Castmates for Season 15 pause. RHONJOG, Teresa Giudice is pointing fingers at her castmates for Season 15 being put on pause. Fans have blamed her for her behavior, but she will not take accountability. Rather, Teresa is claiming that others are solely responsible. So who does she think is at fault and why? Keep reading for more details. Teresa Giudice blames castmates for pause. As soon as Season 14 of RHONJ began, Bravo and Andy Cohen shared that the show would likely have to be evaluated. There was no way it could go on the way that it was, and viewers would see why. The cast had so much tension, and they were incredibly divided. Some were not even speaking to one another or interacting, which made it hard to film. By the end of the season, it was announced that there would not be a traditional reunion. Rather, the ladies would get together for an alternate reunion where they would watch the final. Fans did not care for this, and then the show went on hiatus. It was unclear what that meant, whether they were going to do a full reboot or keep some of the cast. Rachel Fuda, who joined in Season 13, joked she was unemployed. Now, Teresa Giudice is speaking out and placing the blame on other castmates for the delay. According to Mill, Teresa was a guest on Lala Kent's Give Them Lala podcast, where she admitted the show needed a break. A big issue was Teresa Giudice's tension with her brother and sister-in-law, Joe and Melissa Gorga. Their family dynamic was a huge part of the show, and when they were good, they were great. However, when things got bad, it was horrendous. Sadly, the siblings are not on speaking terms, and Teresa is fine with that. The end of an era. One big issue is that RHONJ fans are either Team Melissa or Team Teresa. If they are not interacting in any capacity, that could be a problem. Teresa Giudice is not taking any blame for the downfall of her relationship with the Gorgas. That being said, it may make casting hard for Season 15. If Bravo brings back Melissa and not Teresa, fans may rebel and vice versa. Yet if Teresa is brought back, who did she want next to her? Her dream team would be Dolores Catania, Jackie Goldschneider, and Jennifer Aydin. After this interview, fans were mixed on her once again. Teresa Giudice paced back and forth in her lavish Montville kitchen, her nails clicking against the marble countertop as she scrolled through the latest headlines on her phone. Bravo halts RHONJ production amid cast tensions. Real Housewives of New Jersey Season 15 on hold. Is Teresa to blame? Her blood boiled. To blame her? Absolutely not. She slammed the phone down and exhaled sharply. Louis entered, his face neutral, but Teresa could tell he had seen the news too. "Babe, don't let this get to you," he said, pulling her in for a hug. "How can I not?" she snapped, pulling away. "They're acting like I'm the reason production stopped. Like I made this happen. But they know exactly who's responsible. And guess what? It's not me." Louis sighed. "Who do you think is stirring the pot?" Teresa didn't hesitate. "Margaret, Melissa, and don't even get me started on Jackie. They're all playing victims, but they're the ones making it impossible to film. They don't want to be around me. Fine, but don't pretend it's me making things difficult." She grabbed her phone again and started furiously texting Jennifer Aydin. Within minutes, Jennifer FaceTimed her signature dramatic expression already in place. "Tre, can you believe this? The audacity of these women." "Oh, I believe it," Teresa huffed. "Now they're trying to pin the whole production pause on me." Jennifer scoffed. "As if you're the one refusing to film. You show up every single time, Tre. Who's the one making demands? Who's the one playing victim in the press?" "Melissa. She probably called Bravo herself and told them she couldn't work under these conditions." Conditions being, you existing. Teresa smirked but shook her head. I knew she was gonna pull something, but stopping the whole show? That's next level. She can't stand not being the center of attention, so if she's not getting her way, she wants to burn the whole thing down. And Margaret's in her ear, Jennifer exclaimed. You know she's been pushing this whole narrative that you're toxic and making the show unbearable. But who's the real one stirring the drama? Margaret and her little minions. Jackie's over there acting like she's too good for the show now, but she's running to every gossip site talking about how you're the problem. And don't even get me started on Rachel Fuda. Teresa rolled her eyes. Rachel Fuda, please. She's been here for 5 minutes and already thinks she's the boss of this franchise. Louis rubbed his temples. So what now? Do you think Bravo's really going to make you sit down with Melissa again? Teresa crossed her arms. If they think I'm gonna sit there and let her cry about how I ruined her life again, they got another thing coming. I'm done apologizing. I've moved on. She's the one still obsessed. Jennifer nodded fervently. They want to make you the villain, Tre. But you've carried this show for over a decade. You're the face of Jersey. Without you, what's left? That made Teresa pause. Because deep down, she knew Jennifer was right. Love her or hate her, Teresa Giudice was RHONJ. The show didn't work without her. But it wasn't just about that. It was about respect. And right now, Bravo wasn't showing her any. She sighed. I just don't get it. I've done everything they asked. I tried with Melissa, I did. But she keeps throwing me under the bus, and I'm supposed to just take it. Now I have to sit back while they let Margaret, Jackie, and Rachel act like they're the victims. Louis put a hand on her shoulder. Maybe it's time to play this smart. Instead of getting mad, you show them why you're the queen of this franchise. Let them fight amongst themselves, and you rise above it. Jennifer grinned. Louis has a point, Tre. Let them implode. Bravo's not gonna let this show fall apart completely. They need you more than you need them. Teresa tapped her nails against the counter, deep in thought. She could already see how this was playing out. Melissa and Margaret would spin the narrative, Jackie and Rachel would pile on, and Bravo would milk the drama for all it was worth. But at the end of the day, they couldn't do Jersey without her. And if they thought they could push her out, well, let's just say Teresa Giudice wasn't going down without a fight. She picked up her phone and smirked. Time to remind everyone who runs this show. She sighed. I just don't get it. I've done everything they asked. I tried with Melissa, I did. But she keeps throwing me under the bus, and I'm supposed to just take it. Now I have to sit back while they let Margaret, Jackie, and Rachel act like they're the victims. Louis put a hand on her shoulder. Maybe it's time to play this smart. Instead of getting mad, you show them why you're the queen of this franchise. Let them fight amongst themselves, and you rise above it. Jennifer grinned. Louis has a point, Tre. Let them implode. Bravo's not gonna let this show fall apart completely. They need you more than you need them. Teresa tapped her nails against the counter, deep in thought. She could already see how this was playing out. Melissa and Margaret would spin the narrative, Jackie and Rachel would pile on, and Bravo would milk the drama for all it was worth. But at the end of the day, they couldn't do Jersey without her. And if they thought they could push her out, well, let's just say Teresa Giudice wasn't going down without a fight. She picked up her phone and smirked. Time to remind everyone who runs this show.